Okay, so I'm super excited for tonight because as we all know, we have the incentive trip coming up soon. We don't know when, don't know anything about it. But I wanted to bring together like resources on our team of, enrolling customer tips, enrolling distributor tips, and just kind of like getting people to Ruby and just kind of learning the best ways to get all of these points. And one thing that I'm really excited about is everyone that we're talking to tonight is super new. And so I think it's going to be really good to hear from some new people, some new faces, and just kind of see how like a bunch of newbies are really just like taking off and killing it, because everyone on here is doing amazing things. But I just want to make it a point that no matter what rank you're at right now, like do not count yourself out for this incentive trip. It doesn't matter whether you're a top, income earner. It doesn't matter if you're Ruby, Emerald, Diamond Plus, whatever your rank is, your rank has nothing to do with this. So do not count yourself out as to whether you're going to be able to win the trip or not. Like just work and hustle and go with it. And you got this. So the first person I'm going to start out with is Stacy. She joined in July. This girl signed 1,200 volume on her own in her first month. She is a freaking beast. She went Ruby last month, and I just heard that she's boxing herself for Emerald. So, Stacy, you're like right there. Let me see. Let me get you unmuted real fast. And if you guys have questions while we're going, then put them in the chat if anything comes up when people are talking. 1 second. I don't know where you just went. Stacy, can you unmute yourself? Oh, wait, no, I see. Okay, you got it. There you go. Okay, we're good. Okay, so first question. How long have you been in? I know I just told everyone July 10th. But kind of like tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, do you work? Are you a mom? Like, what did you have going on in your schedule coming into this?
My schedule coming into this was completely crazy. I was actually working for another at-home company, and I'm probably the busiest person on the face of the earth. I have 8 kids, so I am always busy. So the thought of even starting something else was like mind-blowing. So I don't even know like really what got me to that point yet, but literally I'm always on the go. So it's like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's like line them up, plate them up, scoop it out, dishes, laundry. There's always, something going on. There's always appointments. There's always this, there's always that. And then I was having to do a lot of lives with the last company that I was with and scheduling that in. And it was just crazy. And so I was watching my upline. I watched her probably for like a year or so. And I actually got some samples from her, and I'd actually purchased from her. And the last thing that I purchased from her was the Thermophyte, and I actually got it, and I left it in the drawer, and I was like, I'll get to that when I get to it. And it was just kind of always in the back of my head. But I finally started it, and I started dropping the weight off, and I was like, holy smokes. So I called her up, and I was like, sign me up, put me in, I'm ready to go. So I kind of put the other thing on the back burner, and I just kind of went full force with this. So.
Dude, that is amazing. I didn't even know. I wasn't even sure if you were a mom or not. Like, I knew like nothing about you. You have 8 kids, and I have 2.
Yes.
And I'm just like crazy with 2. Oh my God, you're crazy. And you did that during summer break too. That's amazing.
Yes, I started during summer break, so it was definitely crazy because they were all here when my brother's got brain cancer, and my daughter has like some neurological thing going on. My oldest biological daughter. So like between NUSC and Duke and Florida and going to Maryland to see him, we were always on the go, and I was just plugging away, like just trying my hardest. So
yeah, no, oh my God, you're amazing. Okay, so tell us what you are doing. Like, give us a sauce. How are you signing 1,200 volume in your first month? Like, how are you getting all these customers that you're getting and getting yourself to Ruby so quickly?
Honestly, like every time Katie speaks or every time, an upline speaks, like I just cling on to their words and I do what they say. And I literally jumped into 2 pushes that were going on, like right when I jumped in summer, and they honestly like literally drove me to where I am today. And I actually have a copy of one of the daily checklists that we did for the push. And some of the things that are on here is like making sure you have 8 to 10 slides up a day, following up with 110 people, commenting on 35 posts, messaging 25 people, and journaling and reading a book and IM statements. And I literally went through this checklist, and there was some days I might have came up like a few short, but for the most part, like I literally drove myself, no matter if I had to stay up late or whatever it was, working in here, working in there. And like I said, I'm the busiest person on the earth, but if you have a dream and you have a goal, you just have to make time. You just have to do it. And literally, I mean, that is all I did. I stuck to this checklist and I did it and I banged it out and customers were just coming. So
I love that. Okay, so I just want to make a point that like she works a checklist. Like I love that she said she just jumped in, she did the pushes. Like I want you guys to be like taking advantage of all the resources we have on our team page because I don't know if you've gone through it all. We are so organized. We have everything laid out for you to be successful. You just have to take initiative and do it. And like on our checklist, there's a rhyme and a reason to everything that we do. It's not just like having you do, you know, random things for no reason. Everything comes together. And when you're doing the tasks and you're running with it, amazing things start to happen and customers and distributors just come out of nowhere, just like Stacy said. So that is amazing. Okay.
And I'll say one of the other things real quick. Literally like legit, like every Zoom that they were having or anytime somebody was going live about something, like I tried to jump on everything that I could, even if I was like dog dead tired and ready to just close my eyes, like I would put it on and I was probably looking like doo-doo. So I did not put my face up, but like I made sure I was there because I know like if you want it that bad, you just got to commit and you just got to do it.
Exactly. Same thing for me. So you went Ruby in less than 2 months and that's freaking incredible. And that's not like a typical thing that happens unless you want it bad enough. And it's like, it's really just knowing what you want and not giving yourself like the plan B, not, you know, I'll do it tomorrow night, not like being lazy about it. You know what you want. And if you want it badly enough, you make the time for it and it becomes a priority instead of just like an option throughout your day for you. And I love that so much. Okay. So are you getting your customers mostly from posting about products and sharing results or host to post or like a good mix?
Probably a good mix. I'm pretty consistent with showing my results and just being an open book and just showing, you know, where I'm at in my progress, whether it be like a scale picture or a body picture or something like that. And I'm really big on posting like what I'm eating for that day and showing them that showing them, you know, the pills with what I'm taking. But a lot of mine have come from hacks, you know, and just, you know, people posting them. And a lot of them are people that I didn't know that I, you know, do know now and I've built relationships with. But a lot of it is from just literally getting that many hacks from my checklist up every day. And that's really where a lot of them have come from.
Yeah. Okay. I love that. And what product are you using for host to post right now?
I literally day in and day out use Thermophyte and Fat Fighters, so that is what I drill home mostly. I do the coffee, but I don't do it like religiously every day, but I do push that too. And then I'll throw little ones here and there just to kind of like throw it in before I'm gonna like really hit it hard. Like I'll, you know, throw up the energy pixie stick thing and then I won't touch on it for a little while and then I'll come back to it. But the ones that I take personally, those are the ones that I really, really stick behind and push.
Yeah, I actually do the same thing. So like for everyone else on here, you don't have to feel like you have to be buying all the products and like doing all the products every month. Like I have like my 4 to 5 that I love. And it sounds like Stacy has like her typical ones that she loves as well. And what you post about and what you use the most of is what you're going to sell. So, you know, if you're wanting to do weight loss, use the triple threat packs. Like those things are killing it right now. So find, you know, products that you love and that you can back and that you can like use every day and like obsess over and tell other people about. And people are just going to come to you because you have a passion for it. It's not having to post about all 40 products. It's finding a handful that you love and that you can get for yourself on your auto ship consistently. And that's going to help your business so much. Okay.
Consistency is huge. I mean, just when you think you're being annoying, you're not really being annoying because they may not have even seen the last 3 posts that you put about Thermophyte on. And then I'll get the people that are saying, hey, I watched, you know, are you really eating that stuff that you're posting? I'm like, yeah, I'm really eating that crap. I mean, I shouldn't, but yeah, I'm really eating that stuff and I'm really losing weight. So be real. I mean, you don't have to put like, I'm eating a salad every day. I'm eating this every day. Like, be real. Be who you are. Like, there's times I'm on the go and I have to grab McDonald's, but you know what? I'm going to throw my Fat Fighters up there with my McDonald's bag. Like, you know, I took over the summer, I took all the kids to McDonald's. So, you know, I have 8 Happy Meals lined up on my dashboard and I snapped a picture of it and I, you know, got my Fat Fighters up there with it. You know, I'm just being myself. I'm just showing them exactly what I'm doing. I'm not like trying to be somebody I'm not, or, you know, that I'm eating salads every day and I'm eating carrots every day because I'm not. But, you know, that the products really do what they say. So.
Yeah, no, I love that. Okay, so take us through a typical combo, like kind of like a brief, like typical combo that you have like with a customer.
So if it's somebody that I like off of a hat that I ask them to like drop an emoji if they're interested or whatever, I'll message them and say, hey, I saw that you posted on whoever's post it is. And that I'm excited about them being interested in losing weight. And then I try to just get like the basics, you know, like how much weight are you looking to lose? You know, what's your daily, you know, kind of life like? Do you drink water? And then I always ask, you know, if they drink coffee. So that's pretty much how I open it. And then they'll come back at me and say, I get a lot of like 50 pounds or 30 pounds. And so then I just kind of break it down and I let them know literally like how I started, where I started, and where I'm at now. And I'm honest with them about starting ThermoFight first. And then I'm, you know, tell them that I added fat fighters in, and I tell them if they want to maximize their weight loss, you know, I would definitely do 2 of these products. And depending on, you know, if they're on medicines or whatever it is, you know, it depends on what I offer at that point next. And then one of the other things that I learned early in is I was really scared, and my upline pushed me, and I was like, okay, I'll do it. I was really scared to offer a different, exactly, upsell. I was scared to do that. And she was just asking me like, can I see your website? You know, what's all the products? And like, I literally listed like 4 or 5 things that I thought would benefit her. And she was like, sign me up for all of them. And I was like, holy moly. Like, I was not expecting that. So I was like, you know, on cloud 9, but had I not presented the extra products, she would have just been like, okay, like if I would have just done ThermoFight Fat Fighters, she would have signed up for that. And I would have never known that she would have done 3 more products had I not offered them. Because you can always back the price down. You can't go, oh, let me add this now. Offer it up front and back up later. Say, okay, you can't afford that. Let's back it up. I can, you know, scale it down until you can add that. Or, you know, we'll see how these go first. Then we can always do it as a side order.
Yep. I literally love that. Okay. So you guys, like, she has literally come in like a perfect example. She is excited. She is running. She is doing the things that her leaders are telling her to do. She's using all the tools. She's on the training. She's showing up. She's being present. You know, she's being a product of the product. When you're a product of the product, posting becomes so much easier. Being able to talk about, you know, like if somebody wants to lose 40 to 50 pounds, you're already using the products and you know what goes better together. So you're able to be like, well, this is what it's done for me. So let me, like, you're able to upsell better, and you're able, you know, which products go better. So it all just kind of works together. So you're doing an amazing job and I'm loving it. So what do you think has really helped you, and what is your biggest LC signing tip?
I would say, like, you literally have to have something that you do every day, like this checklist. It can be your own checklist, but whatever, you have to have something. You can't just wake up with, like, oh, I'm going to message so-and-so or message this, and then I'll do that, and then I'll do this later. Like, you got to have something that you're like, if I don't finish this, I'm not going to bed. Because, like, literally when that push was over, I tried that. I was like, I'm just going to do this. And I fell short. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, you got to, whether there's a push or there's a contest or whatever, you have got to be the one, like, answer to yourself. Like, don't let yourself down. You got to do that checklist and make sure it gets done every day if you want to grow.
Yep. Can we get an amen? That was so good. Okay. Thank you so much. If you guys have any questions for her, go ahead and put it in the chat, but we're going to move on and talk to Jamie. Thank you, Stacy. You're amazing.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay. So Jamie.
I have a question. Are those your 8 birthed children?
No, girl. No, girl.
Oh.
No.
Oh my God.
One is biologically mine. We've adopted 6 sibling groups, and I have 1 more adoption coming up. And then we're done. Closed book.
Amazing. You're still, oh my gosh, that's mind-boggling to me. So
Jamie doesn't want to know any, like, business tips. She just wants to know if the babies are yours. Like, I know yours.
This is so crazy. She's like 8 kids, and I was like writing notes, and I was like, all right, sorry. Anyways.
Okay. So, Jamie, okay, wait, a little bit about Jamie. Jamie is a freaking beast. She signed 1,000 volume in a week, and won the free green carpet ticket that we had for a contest. Was that last month or so? She just went Emerald last month. She's been in for less than a year. She freaking slays. triple threats like left and right in our like team chat. She's constantly like boom LC, boom LC. You already know it's just a triple threat every single time. So we're gonna get some of her tips on how she's selling triple threats and what she's doing. So Jamie, how long have you been in, and what is your life like outside of the business? Like, what do you work around, basically?
Okay, so I've been with the business for about 8 months now. I think, do the math, my year comes up in October. When I first got started, I really didn't know much about the business. I just knew I needed something. I was a full-time engineer for a school district. I was a boiler operating engineer on maternity leave. And I also was a manager and a supervisor at a pool, as well as a head waitress and cook at a restaurant. So I was working 3 jobs, but I was on maternity leave, saw the business, and well, I had my daughter. The plan was to go back to work, and I had my daughter, and I was like, nope, not going back to work. So I got to figure something out. And this fell in my lap, long story short. So I started working the business. It was still the plan it was looking like I had to go back until we really saw what this business could do. And I just kind of decided to get over myself and not have one foot in, one foot out, and just say, I'm going hard with this, and I know what this is going to do. So I quit my jobs, and I'm a stay-at-home mom now, and work in the biz.
Yes. Okay. So, how are you signing so many customers?
Post to post.
Is that your jam?
Post to post. If I'm not signing customers, that's the reason why. Personally, I don't really do a whole lot of product posting, and if I do, it's like super urgency. Like, okay, flash, I have like 2 spots, ready, set, go. And I also, when I'm doing my flash things, I say comment or message me. That way, when people are looking at it and they don't see comments and I post, I'll message in the comments. I'll be like, okay, 1 spot left now. They know that just because they don't see the comments doesn't mean the sale's going away. Like, if people are still messaging me, but definitely host to post, host to post, host to post.
Yeah. Okay. I like that because it's like they don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So you're like, oh, I've got 1 spot left because somebody messaged me. I like that because that does create the urgency and people want what other people want. So, okay. So which product are you using most for host to post?
The triple threat. I always start with the triple threat. When I signed that 1,000 volume to win the green carpet, I was doing coffee, chocolate greens, and thermophyte. But I just kind of got in a slump with that. So I switched it up and I went to the triple threat, which is the fat fighters, the greens, and the thermophyte. I always generally offer that first. If I'm not offering that, I'm offering thermophyte and greens. I always try to get a double volume out of it. And I always offer up front first, and then I scale it back. Unless for guys, I really don't try to upsell. Not going to lie. I don't, because guys are just butts. So they're not going to do it. I've only upselled a couple dudes. And if they immediately are weird about cost, I don't try and upsell them. But I do immediately, like Stacy was saying, because you can always recommend it and you can always scale it back.
Wait, are you doing a triple threat like host to post, like post, or are you doing triple threat off of like TFX?
Off of TFX. Okay,
so kind of like for everyone else, say, like, do you have like a baseline of like, okay, if they tell me this, I'm going to go with triple threat. But if they tell me, you know, maybe 10 pounds or like less, I'm going to go with something else. Like, do you have anything that decides anything, or are you kind of just like, everyone's getting a triple threat?
For the most part, everybody's getting a triple threat. But I mean, if they're going to lose, if they only want to lose like 10 pounds, generally I don't recommend it. But I try to get a double out of them just because it's going to give them better results and maintain a healthy lifestyle anyways. But yeah, for the most part, people are going to get what I tell them.
Okay.
And it's going to be worth it.
So take us through like the combo, like how are you upselling them to triple threat? Because I'm sure people are like, okay, you're cool, like you're upselling, but like what are you doing? So like what do you kind of like say to them to open up about triple threat and like getting them talking about that versus just the TFX?
Typical response, and just responding to your comment, I am so excited that you're interested in it. How much are you looking to lose? And then my second, I try to keep the conversation short and sweet so it's not like 10 years long. So we can just like bing, bang, boom it out. And the second set, I ask like a bunch of questions in one, like what do you feel like you most struggle with? And then I like put a couple things that are along those lines, like eating, energy, not being consistent and such. And they respond. And then I was just doing that, but I wasn't getting enough information. So then I say, okay, so tell me a little bit about what you're eating and drinking throughout the day. That way I know if I need to tell them they need to increase their water. and I can see if they're actually getting their vegetables in, because if somebody is looking to lose 20 pounds, but they're already on a health kick and they're like, I'm already eating tons of fruits and vegetables and lean meats, it's going to change what I'm going to recommend. But if they're like, I'm a terrible eater and I eat a lot of processed foods, if I eat it all, then I'm like, okay, well, first of all, I do tell them, because I want them to know that I know what I'm doing. So I say, well, first of all, you need to eat, because otherwise that's going to be the reverse effect. And I ask them if they're willing to change their habits. I say, are you willing to increase your eating, even if it's like a little less more often, or are you willing to increase your water, whatever it may be? And then I recommend the pack to them. So triple threat, especially if they're eating like crap.
Okay, we got a question in the chat that says, when I'm offering more products than they say they can't afford that, and then I get ghosted, or they aren't interested anymore when I scale the products down, what does anyone have tips on for that? Should I just recommend one product at first and then try to add more? So kind of like,
No.
like how are you scaling it back? So like, say that they don't want triple threat, how do you end up still getting like a product in their hand?
Generally, you can feel it out. I feel like you can get the feeling if they're really hurting and they only want one product. Generally, if they don't want the triple threat, I really don't want to lose that sale. So I just go, okay, no worries. Let's go ahead and scale it back to just the fat burners. That way you don't lose out on this discount opportunity. You're still getting your results. And it's fit your budget. It's more budget friendly. And then I usually just scale it right back there. Sometimes I will scale it back to the greens, but if I feel like I'm like, it's either black or white right now, that's it. That's what you're getting.
Okay. Yep. See, I like that. And I feel like with what you just said, like a lot of confidence comes out in it. So it's kind of like, don't be afraid. Like, say that you upsell, you're like, oh man, I totally just screwed this whole thing up. Like, just have confidence and be like, okay, that's fine. We're just going to get you started on this. And then, you can always add more in the future. Just kind of having that confidence of just like, don't be nervous. Don't feel like you screwed up the sale just because they don't want all three products. Just having that confidence to be like, okay, no worries. We're totally just going to start with this one product. Okay. So, what is your biggest tip for signing customers?
Host to post until you sign a customer. Don't give up and follow up. And you have to go in it with confidence. Like, you can't go in. I know I'm on a Zoom, so I'll say you can't half-butt it, but you really got to do it. You got to go in hard, and you have to be like, I'm going to sign this person whether they like it or not, because I know it's going to be best for them and they're going to love it. So you have to go in with the mentality that you're going to do it, and host to post until you do it. And you got to keep going. Like, and I would say if you are in a struggle with it, it's probably something in your conversations, or it's your host to post. Host to posts are constantly changing. And sometimes on accident, we can look spammy, or it's just not quite what it is. So go to your uplines. I utilize my uplines all the time. Like, I'm like, okay, well, I haven't signed anybody in like 2 seconds. What am I doing wrong? And I have a one-on-one with them, and they tell me this is what you're saying, and they're real with you, because I'd hope that you'd have a good relationship, and they can be like, okay, well, you sound stupid right here, or no, that sounds super awesome, or tweak this, do that. And like, utilize your resources around you, because that's what I do whenever I'm in a slump, is I just go to them.
Yep, I love that. So if you feel like you're like, you're doing the post, you're being consistent, you're doing the host to post, you're messaging the people, if you feel like you're doing everything, but you're still like, why am I not seeing results? Literally, you need to go and have a conversation with your upline, because sometimes you don't realize the way that you're saying things could sound weird. Sometimes just a simple piece of a conversation, or the way that you word something, makes all the difference. So that's a really good tip.
You have to journal about it. You have to do it. And I'm sure this is going to go along with whatever question you're asking me next.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so have you ever felt like I hate these sayings. I don't even like to use them myself. I know sometimes I use them to Katie, but I try not to. So have you ever felt like you hit a wall or gotten in a funk with signing customers, and how do you move past it?
100%. I definitely hit a funk after my signing 1,000 volumes. I was like, I peaked in the company, and like I threw a fit, and I was pouting left and right. But first thing I did was I complained to my uplines about it. Even before I talked to them, I was like, I got to pout for a second, and then I'm going to come to you. And so I did. And Ashley knows, because I messaged Ashley, and she's like, wait, you're going to have a personal pout? I was like, yes, I am. And then I came to her with like, okay, because we're humans, you have emotion. You have to have that emotion. Let yourself have it. Get over it. Then you come to your mindset, or you come with a fresh mindset to your upline. You talk to them, and then you journal. I never journal. I never start work without journaling, and I try to never go to bed without journaling, and you have to journal it away. And I was going to wait to do like a big Zoom with this, but I kind of figured out the math behind journaling and how much you actually have to do it. I saw that. Should I share it with him, Ashley? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's a really good tip.
Okay. So I'm a person who came from, I wanted to puke on the idea of journaling. Like, oh my gosh, it was the grossest idea to me. And I was like, never, no. And my uplines were constantly telling me, do it, just do it. So finally I did it. So that I wanted you guys to know where I'm at then to where I'm at now. And I figured out the math behind journaling, and it actually working. You have to journal twice a day for 3.5 days. You have to physically feel it when you're doing it. And if you don't even bother journaling. And it has to be 2 pages at least. You have to be journaling your manifestation, and you have to do IMs. You do this for 3.5 days, you are going to reap the benefits. If you miss, you will have to restart that back over. Personally, that is what I've seen. That's what I've seen with my girls on my team. I don't know if that's what's going to work for you guys, but that's the math that I figured out behind journaling, and it 100% works, and it will change your business.
Yeah.
The end.
One thing that I love, like you and Stacy have both said, like you guys have really strong mindsets, and like, no, of course, nobody's constantly always in a really good mindset. Like, journaling and just like having that confidence in yourself, that is why they kill it, because they know they don't accept anything else and they just run with it. Okay, wait. So we have a question. People keep asking me for free samples of the coffee because they don't want to commit to 3 months if they hate it. And I offered to give them 4 for $20, including shipping. And they ghost me or just say no. Any idea to how to turn that into a sale? I'll answer this one. So for me, if somebody asks for free samples, I don't know why I'm killing. I don't know if anybody else hears that, but it's like killing me. So if somebody else, we can't hear you well, you're super choppy. Is anyone else having a problem with that? Okay, wait, Jamie, I'm gonna mute you and see if that helps. Wait, can you mute yourself? Okay, can you guys hear me better now? Is it Jamie? It was Jamie. Okay. Everyone's like, yeah. Okay, I didn't know if that was just me, and I was like, this is like killing me right now. Okay, so when somebody asks me for samples, say I'm talking to them about the coffee, and if somebody's all like, oh, well, you know, like, what if I don't like it? I always go into the whole, okay, so with the 90-day challenge, God, let me think of like what I would say, because everything's in voice message or like right on the spot for me. So I'm just kind of like, if somebody's asking for samples or they're afraid they're not going to like it and they don't want the 3-month commitment, I always tell them something about the cool thing with the 90-day challenge is that you are able to pick which products you want every single month. So say that you get the coffee now, and if you decide that you don't like it, I'm able to help you next month and for November to have a different product, so you don't have to stick with the coffee if, like I do like a capital, like if you weren't to like it. So every time that I kind of tell somebody like, hey, like if you happen to not like it, you have full control over what you get every month, and I can help you change your order, and we have a ton of products that you're gonna love something else. Every time that I do that, they're like, okay, cool, I'm down. So that's always what I tell somebody if they start to like kind of be afraid of what if they don't like the product and then they're getting stuck with something that they don't want, just letting them know that they have options if, but I'm always like, but everyone loves the coffee, or everyone loves this, or every, you know, so that is what I say. I do that and they still back out. Going to have to do the if. Yeah, do like a big, like I'm like, if, like it's a high chance that you're going to love the product and like a really low chance you're not going to like the product. You're just having that confidence with it. Do I voice message the whole conversation? No, it depends on if I'm busy or not. Sometimes yes, because I try and I use everything. So I just know how I like to talk about things. And then sometimes no, like if I'm sitting down and I don't feel like sending a voice message, or there's like a lot going on with my kids or something, then I'll text it. But I'm very like, even with my distributors, like on my team, they all know I'm very like text, or you never know if you're going to get one or the other from me. But I would highly suggest if you don't do voice messaging, start throwing that in there, because it makes it more personable, and people love like the personable touch of like hearing somebody's voice and like hearing the excitement from them, and the confidence. So okay, we are going to switch it. If you guys have questions about customers or anything like that, we'll bring that back at the end for Stacy and for Jamie. But we're going to switch over to distributors, and we're going to talk to Madeline. And a little bit about Madeline is she joined, I think, June. Let me see what I wrote down. You joined in June. And she earned the Ruby guarantee, but she has literally killed it with distributors to the point where she earned the guarantee, the $1,000 guarantee, but I don't even think that she like really got it because she already made so much money. So like, I just want that to go to show that it doesn't matter your rank for like your income. Like if you want to go make $500 out of the distributor or an executive girl, go do that. If you want to go make $1,000 out of Ruby, go do it. So she is killing it and she's new. And okay, are you there? Are you unmuted?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're so like sweet and I'm like yelling at everybody. So so give us a little like spiel about you, like what you work your business around, just so everybody can kind of see that everyone's got a busy life and nobody's just like perfectly like not busy and working. So
Okay, well, I have a baby girl. She's 7 months, so I'm a stay-at-home mom. So basically, I just take care of her all day, and that's about it. We go like work out sometimes, but nothing interesting.
Oh my god. Okay, so mom life. Okay, so are you getting your distributors mostly from Instagram or Facebook or like a good mix?
Instagram. I haven't gotten any from Facebook. They've all been from Instagram.
I feel like with your generation, because wait, are you 19 or 20?
I'm 20.
Okay, but I feel like kind of, God, I'm like getting so old. So I'm like with the younger ones, but I feel like more with you, like Instagram is where it's at for like the younger 20-year-olds. So like work it, like find what works for you and work it. So, okay, so what is working for you right now? And like kind of like, what do you post about in the business, or are you messaging like kind of what's your like strategy with everything?
So basically, like I always stay consistent. My stories, I try to post like 8 to 10 stories a day because I realized if I didn't, I wasn't getting near as many views. Like before I started the business, I'd only get like 200 views, and like that might be a lot for you, but that wasn't like that much for me. And now I get like 800 to 1,000 views just from like staying consistent. And I always try to post 2 to 3 times a week, because I realized like lately I haven't, so I haven't been signing as many distributors, like, you know what I mean? But when I was, like, I was signing so much more distributors whenever I was just constantly like staying consistent, like each and every day. And every time like I go shopping, I post about it. Anytime I'm like out and about, I post about it. So like I can show that you can still do this business while doing other things.
Yep. Okay, I love that. So it's kind of like it doesn't have to constantly be like business all over the place. It's like showing your life and who you are really plays in with signing distributors as well. So people can connect to you and just like see that you are making an income from home and like still out enjoying your life. Okay, so what do you think has helped you to sign DT so fast without having like that huge success story behind you? Because I feel like a lot of times people come in and they're like, well, I'm not a double diamond. I don't have a huge bonus behind me. I don't have a huge success story. I'm not like paying off tons of things yet. Like, you know, people, they just kind of think that they can't attract distributors yet because they don't have a huge success story like the other like leaders and people that they see in it. So what do you think being new and kind of taking off with distributors, like what do you think helped you to do that?
But when I started, I just told everybody like, oh, I'm going to go Ruby. I'm going to go Emerald. I'm going to go Diamond. And like, I just like tell them like, this is what's going to happen. This is like, I'm going to be able to go shopping all the time. I'm going to be able to go trips. Like, I just tell them that. I'm like, yeah, it's going to give me like so much freedom to like get out of the house and not just stay here all day. Like actually have money to go do stuff.
Yes, I did the same thing. So I joined and I went Ruby in my first month. I went Diamond in 90 days. And that's exactly what I did too. It's like, I didn't have that huge success story behind me. And that's what I preach to everyone. It's like, talk about your goals. Like, where are you going? And having confidence and excitement with that is exactly how you're going to like, you know, bring distributors to you in the beginning without, you know, flashing money or the crazy things that people think that they have to be able to post about. Wait, we have a question.
Oh, yeah, what Haley said. Every Friday, like every time I get like a $100 bonus, I always post about it. Like every single time. And customers, like I'll take like a cute pic of what I'm doing, then like crop it in. So
yeah, showing success.
Yeah.
You have to show every little success. Customer, distributor, where you're working from, anytime that you get any kind of income. Okay, wait, we have another question that says, how do you suggest getting DTs from a post if you don't have a ton of success to talk about? That kind of goes in with another question. So I'm going to let you know when that goes in with the question that I have for you, and we'll kind of like come back to that. Okay, what's your number one tip on signing distributors?
Oh, just staying consistent, like every day, like and I like message a lot of people every day. Like it sounds kind of crazy, maybe like 100 people. Like literally, I message so many people about the business because, or if they like my post, I message them, even if it's not even like a business post. Like I just message them, and I get a lot of no's, so that's okay. That's normal if people say no, but I just keep going. I don't let it hurt my feelings. It used to hurt my feelings, but I don't really care anymore.
You just gotta be like, whatever, like, this is a good opportunity. No, I love that because everyone needs to understand, like, posting is not asking, like, you know, just putting it out there, posting about it. You have to actually be messaging the people too, and like, you know, offering the business to people. And even if they say no, like Madeline says, like, don't get discouraged on it. That's planting a seed, because now they're going to be paying attention to you, even if it's off of like a lifestyle post, like she said, that has nothing to do with fit, but she's bringing them the business and offering it to them. Now they're going to start paying attention to what she's doing, and if they're going to be drawn to like what she's doing. It's just planting a seed. And oh, I was like, yeah, Katie says Ashley ignored me, but came back. Yes, exactly. So like with how Madeline's saying, like, you know, don't worry about the no's. That doesn't get her down. She keeps going. I tell myself, you know, something better is coming. You stay in that mindset, because when you start to think of the lack and you start to think of the no's and you start to get discouraged and you start to get like you become like too nervous to ask people, that's where you're going to sit in that spot. But when you have a mindset of like, okay, I'm not worried about it. Like, I'm still building an empire. I'm still building an amazing business, and something good is coming. That's where it comes from. And just like Katie said, I ignored her. We met each other over Instagram. I had no idea how she was on my Instagram. I almost unfollowed her like 5 times because I was just like, I had like no one on my Instagram. But something kept her there. And then one day I was just like, what do you do? And she was just like, hey, I work from home. And then I was like, oh God, I can't do that. And I ignored her. And she followed up with me. I ignored her, but I kept watching her. And then I signed up with her off of a post about $40 6 months later. And I was just like, hey, okay, I don't care what I got to do, but I'm like, I'm ready. Like, I'm joining. So yeah, just don't worry about the no's. Okay.
Yeah, one of my distributors, like one of my like my third distributor, like this girl in me, she like ignored me like 3 times and then randomly messaged me like, hey, I want to do what you do.
Yeah, and you know why she did that? Because she started watching you and she saw your excitement about, like, you know, you don't have to talk about the success, like all the huge things right now, but you know where you're going and you're excited for what's coming, and you're so like consistent, and you know where you're going. People want to sign with someone who knows where they're going. I love that. So what do you talk about your potential distributors, like kind of like to the people who do stress about, because I just love that you're so new when you sign so many distributors. So the people who do stress about, like, I don't know what to talk about because I don't have all the success to talk about. So what do you talk to your potential distributors about as being new?
Whenever I was first there, I don't think it's still going on, but like $10,000 bonus, which like I would just be like, yeah, I just signed up and I'm gonna hit this $10,000 bonus. And I'm so excited about it. And then they're like, okay, like I want to do that too. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I don't know how to turn that off. Anyone who's ever been on any of my trainings knows that happens. But yeah, it's just talking about where you're going and having that excitement, like there is no other way. And people, they just like gravitate to that and they're like, all right, let's do it. Like, I'm down. Somebody said, does she have a schedule she follows when following up with people?
Yeah, every Tuesday I usually follow up with people. And I have like a little notebook. I don't really keep it in my phone because I have so many notes in my phone. It's like so overwhelming. So I have a notebook and I just write down their names, or on Instagram I save them to I don't know how to explain it, but on Instagram you can save their profile, and I just save it to like a file, and then I go and I'll look and see like if I like their page, I'm like, oh, I want them to be on my team, and I'll save it. If that makes sense. I'm
going to show them right now exactly what you're talking about, because I do the same thing when I'm working my Instagram. So I'm on her Instagram right now. And so what she's saying, everyone has their own way of staying organized. You just have to find out like what works for you. But this also works for me too. So say that I've talked to her about the business, or say that I like her page. I will either you can go to her profile, click a photo, and then you can click that little flag button, save to collection. And if you don't have any collections made yet, you can do save to and then the plus, and then you can make a PDT collection. You can make a hundreds list. So if I've talked to her about the business, I'd put her in my PDT collection. And then if I'm making a hundreds list because I'm like, okay, this girl's super cute. She's got like a perfect profile. She's all over her social media. This is awesome. Then I have a hundreds list where it's when I go to interact, I'm interacting with those people. And then, on Instagram, sometimes compared to Facebook, you can feel like you can get so lost in people just because there's so many profiles and so much like info all over the place that I do the same exact thing. So I love that you said that. Somebody said, okay, save it to collections. You click the little bookmark icon. Yep. Exactly. Somebody says, what do you say when people accuse of running a pyramid scheme?
Oh, I got this today. Someone was like, oh, this is a scam. Actually, I send them, Brittany, I'll be like, if you have 5 minutes, it's not a scam. This is like what I do for like literally all my money that I have because I'm a stay-at-home mom. But if you have 5 minutes, I'll send you a video. And I send them Brittany's video, like how I make money from my phone. Because I really like that video and she's just like very relatable. And so if they say yeah, I'll send them that video. But
okay, so this is actually something that like us leaders were talking about, of like getting the team to make videos on why they joined and kind of like, if they're new or like what their goals are, like little successes that they've had. But I love that you go ahead and just send Brittany's video because that does show them, it's real, they can relate to that, and it kind of takes all that fear away. But another thing, so if I'm not sending a video, just to answer this question along with you, I explain that everything's a pyramid scheme. I explain that like, this is my only income, I've got 2 kids, and this is all I do for work, and a pyramid scheme is actually illegal. We've been in Forbes magazine, and I just say like, you can make more money than I can, and if you were to go to like a grocery store, the manager is always going to make more than the shift managers, and the shift managers more than the courtesy clerks, and the courtesy clerks more than the baggers, things like that. Because I'm like, look, that's a pyramid right there. And so I'm like, but with this, you can make more money than I do. And then I explain that we could just sell these products in a box shop like a GNC, but our CEO decided that we're going to just sell it online. And so we market the products for him and we get paid for that. So that's kind of how I explain it too. We are just like other businesses, but just online. Yeah. And I kind of just talk about like everything is online these days, and that's just the way that everything is going. So yes. Okay. So I think that was all I had for you. Does anyone else have any questions for her real fast before we stop talking to her? She's so sweet and she's new and she's just killing it, and she just kills it on Instagram. Okay, so if not, okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, you can mute yourself, and then I'm gonna go ahead and give my tips on what I've been doing to sign distributors, and then, on my tips on what I'm doing to sign distributors, and then I'm gonna talk about like kind of my setup of how I get my new DTs going. And then getting people to Ruby. So what's been working for me, I've been signing at least 6 distributors like the past couple months. But what's been working for me is I post daily about the business, whether it's in a Facebook post or on my Instagram story somehow, or if it's in a Instagram post, because if you are not posting daily about your business or about the products or about you, then your business is closed. Okay, think of it this way. If you're not posting daily, and you've got like 1 business post in a week, or like sometimes I go to do a one-on-one with my downline and they're like, okay, I'm struggling with distributors, like what's going on? And I go to their page and I'm like, girl, nobody even knows what you do. I see nothing about the business, nothing about anything of, what you're doing or money or customers or products. So like, if you're not posting about it, your business is closed. You will not sign customers. You will not sign distributors. Nobody knows. So it's so important to be consistent, to be seen every day. So I've been working my Instagram story a lot more than I used to. For the longest time, I was honestly like all about Facebook, and I couldn't get myself back into working like Instagram. I felt like I had this like mental block with Instagram. But ever since I started working Instagram again, I'm having so much fun with it. Signing distributors has gone up for me. And so if you are not working Instagram right now and you're just focused on Facebook, honestly, Instagram is where it's at. And it's so much easier. Like Katie used to always tell me like, dude, people sign so much faster on Instagram. Like, why are you not on Instagram? Facebook takes forever. People have to like talk to you about a bunch of stuff. And it's kind of true. Like people do sign up a lot faster on Instagram. Okay, so on your Instagram story, I make it 80% me, and then 20% is a mix of like product and business, maybe even like 9% me, and then like the other 10% is a mix of product and business here and there. When I'm talking about the business, I show myself getting gas, getting groceries, Target trips, and then I put things on it like thanks it works for filling my gas tank, or like I'll hold up like the Target bag in front of like the big Target sign outside, and I'll I try to just like come up with like aesthetically pleasing like photos. Like I always try to do, if I'm not in it, I try to make sure my photos and things like that have a good background. And I focus on the smaller things. Okay, I remember when I had gone double diamond, and I was like, okay, I'm going to talk about all this money I'm making because this is freaking amazing. Nobody relates to making $5,000 a month, okay? Nobody relates to making $6, $7, $8, $10,000+ a month. People relate to the smaller things. People relate to wanting to be able to buy groceries. People relate to, you know, when it's payday on Friday and it's Thursday or Wednesday and you've got like $5 or $10 to get in your gas tank and you're sitting there like not even filling a whole tank and you're just like, well, still have to do. People relate to that. People relate to food stamps, WIC, the things that I've been on before. People relate to, you know, just doing all these like basic necessities, or like, you know, getting stuff for their babies, or if you're a college student, they relate to like how expensive textbooks are. So I don't focus on like the really big things. I mainly focus on paying for the necessities of life that other people can relate to as well. And another thing that I do is I do screenshots of my weekly bonuses every single week. And I just like, you know, sometimes I'll just put it on my thing and like put it on my story and then put like little GIFs on it. Is that what they're called, GIFs? Or I'll make like a pretty background on it with the Over app. And then I always screenshot when everyone else in the group chat, in one of my group chats, when we all talk about the bonuses that we got and like maybe what it's paying for, just being excited that we just got like $100 or $200 deposited like into our bank account, I screenshot that so people see that other people are also making this. And, you know, I like to talk about, you know, it's only one of the like 4 or 5 ways that we get paid, or that it's my favorite way that we get paid. So if you're not like in some kind of a little like group chat where you can like, you know, maybe even in your team chat, if it's, you know, Thursday or Friday when we get the bonuses paid, you can say, okay, we're going to save these next texts. We just got fast starts. Everyone put how much you just got and like what it's going to pay for, just so you have like a screenshot material of showing like, oh my God, this is going to pay for my car payment. This is amazing. Just got $100, because people are going to see that. And it's showing that like, yes, you're making money, but you're also making money with other people. So if you're not in some kind of a group chat that you can do that with, like find someone, a few people that you can do that with, because I love doing those weekly. Another thing that I do is if I know I'm going to get a bonus for the week, then I kind of plan like what it's going to talk about. Like last week, I knew I was getting a $200 bonus, and I took my daughters to the fair, and I like, you know, showed us being at the fair, having a good time. And then I showed that I had gotten that $200 fast start bonus. And I was so thankful that that bonus just paid for our entire like family date night at the fair. Or, you know, a couple weeks ago when we were school clothes shopping, I knew that I was going to get another bonus that week. So I planned the day that I went school clothes shopping on the day that we were getting paid bonuses. And so I could be like, look, that just paid for our entire like shopping trip, like buying your kids new clothes like every couple months when they grow out of it, or like starting the new season or starting, you know, the new school year. That's expensive. And so I knew that I wanted to be able to talk about my bonuses and showing it paying for that. Or if I, you know, I'll go grocery shopping on the day that we get the bonus, or sometimes just waking up to a direct deposit of X amount of dollars from the bonus. It's just doing that and focusing on the smaller things and the things that other people can really relate to is really what brings in people for me. Do you recommend posting these things to your feed on Instagram, or just photos of you, your family, friends on your feed? I hope that makes sense. Okay, so when you go to my Instagram, all of the like fast start bonuses, or when I pay, or when I show that we got commissions and I kind of like blur everything out. Oh, dude, I wanted this to be an hour. We might go over a little bit over an hour, but I'm going to start talking faster because I don't want to take up more than an hour of everyone's time. Okay, so I put those things on my Instagram story. But then on my feed, if you go to my Instagram, you don't see like products everywhere. You don't see anything spammy. Like if I have a product, you don't see a package of it. You see me with like an orange cup and just like a selfie. And you know that you don't go on there and just go, okay, this girl very obviously does it, works, or some type of something, because people don't go on social media to be sold to. So when you go to my social media, you just see like really clean, just like, you know, pictures of me, pictures of things that I like to do, pictures of my family. But inside the photos, that's where I talk about the business. So when you are doing your photos, the more attractive your photo is, the more interaction you're going to get on the post. And so it's so important. I don't ever do a business post without posting photo. And because I just don't do like a big, like, you know, words or whatever, big like status without a photo, because the photo helps to draw people in. If they'll like stop, they'll look at it, they'll see what you have to say, or even if they didn't see what you have to say and they're just liking it, you're still going to be able to reach out to them, because once again, posting is not asking. So you're messaging everyone who's liking your business post. And even if they hadn't read what you said, but they still liked it, that's still opening up another opportunity for a PDT and planting a seed. So when you go to my page, like, you don't see, you know, it work stuff blasted. You see that I like to travel. You see that I like to hike. You see that I'm a mom. But then within there, that's when I talk about the business and like what it's doing for me. And I focus on all different aspects. I tell my story. I focus on the freedom. I focus on what it's paying for. I focus on the fun. Like we have a file in the Dreamcatchers page that is like, how to attract distributors. Like I don't like work that to a T. I don't like go and look at it and like do that. But if you were to compare that to all my posting, I'm basically doing those posting, and I don't have like a rhyme or a reason for like, okay, how often do you talk about this, or how often do you talk about that? I just kind of like go with the flow of like, you know, when we get paid or what's going on in my life with my girls and I, and like talking about, you know, family stuff or whatever it may be, or if I'm traveling. And so yeah, okay, I kind of went off topic about that, but yeah, so that, and then on your Instagram story, back to that, you want to vlog throughout your day, because you know, you want to be like 80 to 90% of you. People don't join the business and the products, they buy into people. So they have to know who you are and they want to see you, okay? They don't just want to like go to your page and know that all you're going to be posting about is like business and products. They want to see what you're doing. They want to see you talking. I used to be so afraid to talk on my story, and Katie would tell me all the time, like, dude, just do it. Even Haley. And then I'd like do it and be like, oh my God, dude, go check my story. Do I look stupid? I just talked on it, because I am so ridiculously shy. But I got over that, and doing it, it gets easier when you're getting over it. And so, you know, being on your story and just being interesting and showing them what's going on for you, that helps so much. Like, so much of your lifestyle posting also goes in with like attracting distributors, because, you know, you show your life and you show who you are, and then you sprinkle in the business and the products here and there. And that's what helps you to attract people. I don't just do polls on just the business and products. Like today I was talking about how I just bought a plant. Like I'm always posting about like fake plants because I can't do real plants, and I bought a real plant. And then I did a poll that was like, you got this, or LOL, the palm is gonna die. Like I always try to do other polls to get people voting on that too, because when people are voting on your stuff, Instagram sees that that's like, oh, they're interested in what you got going on, and then you start showing up in their stuff more. And then 1 to 2 times a month, I will create my story of like, you know, okay, before it works, because if it works, and like where I'm going or whatever, I'll create that on my Instagram story, on the Over app or on the Unfold, and I'll open up spots. When I'm doing my business posting or when I'm talking about the business on Instagram, I don't talk about spots all the time. Like you will hardly see a post of mine about the business about talking about spots, because the less you talk about spots, the more that you show your life, you show the things, like you do all the snippets of like what the business is paying for, what it's doing for you, why you're loving it. And you show all of that, and then you open up spots every once in a while, the more that people are going to be like, oh shoot, she got some spots, or oh, I want this, I'm interested. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like less is more for the opening up spots for me. Or you can even, you know, it doesn't have to be a story that you've created for telling your business, like story, like your why and stuff like that. You can even just like talk and do a video of like talking about what the business has done for you, and things like that, and then open up spots as well. It doesn't have to just be with an app. And then also I always show when I sign customers and distributors. I made sure that the background of my phone is just like a really cute picture of the girls and I. And then, let me see. I made sure my phone's on silent. So I made sure it's a cute, well, there's so much, but I just have a cute background on my phone. So like when I do like a screenshot of somebody, like the email saying that you got a customer distributor, then it's already kind of just like, it looks good. And it's not just like, this is a really ugly page. Like, what are you showing us? I just always try to really focus on like the way things look. That kind of, okay, wait, I kind of already talked about the good posting. Before I start talking about like getting DTs launched and like how I get people to review like how I start my DTs, I'm just gonna go through and like see any questions real fast. So with Instagram, if you don't have 10,000 followers, keep it private. I kind of go back and forth between like private and public, because I'm about to post about our home goods giveaway on my Instagram, and I'm gonna make my page public because I want people sharing that in their story because it gets me a ton of followers. But other than that, I usually have my page private. Do you ask a random person to take your photos of alone, or do you cold message for host to post? Yeah, I don't really think that it's like cold messaging, like when you're asking people to host to post. So yeah, I ask people to host to post. I'll offer them our giveaways if I'm asking people to host to post. Do you ask people, a random person, to take a photo if you're alone? No, so I have a ring light. I set my phone up on it and I take photos. I also have a tripod that I have. So like for me, I'm not single, but my boyfriend lives in a different state. And sometimes I have my like 8-year-old take my photos, but like if they're gone and it's just me, I use my tripod, and so I can get my own photos taken. They're super cheap. There is a tripod for like 20 or 30 bucks on Amazon that you can get, and that will help you to not only just have like selfies like with your hand. How do you get them to follow you back on Instagram? So keep your Instagram private, and then yeah, by interacting with people, eventually they're gonna follow you back if they're not already. But that kind of goes into with like really paying attention to the way that your feed and stuff look, because I think it's, I don't know what, like how quick it is, but people basically, if your page isn't private and you follow somebody, they go to your page and they look at like, your first top 2 rows and they don't like what they see, they're not going to follow you back. Like people instantly decide whether they want to follow you back or not. So that's why making sure that your page just looks so good and it doesn't have it, the spammy product and business posting that we say not to do like all over your page. It's super important. But okay, I feel like I'm taking forever, so I'm just gonna start dipping into getting DTs launched. So this is what I do for my typical new distributor. Of course, right away, I add them to the team page. I get them started in our units tab, like the training. I get them started in that as soon as possible because they're excited, you're excited, get them started on training right away. And I let them know if they like watch the videos, do the things, and if you have questions, let me know. I help them with their first week of posting daily. So we have a file on the team page, and if you're not utilizing it, you should be utilizing it. It's called First Week of Posting for New Distributors or something along those lines. I tag them in that, and then I help them to do their post every single day. Like every day I'm like, morning girl, like what's up? Let's do this. And so I'm helping them, I have them write out their post. I don't ever write out their post for them, but I have them write out their post and I have them send it to me so I can edit it. If they're doing too many emojis and I'm like, oh shit, this looks kind of like spammy, I edit it. Like be very real with them. If they need to elaborate on something, have them elaborate. If they need to switch some wording up, have them switch some wording up. Don't be afraid to have like the kind of like awkward or like hard conversations that you might think is awkward because you're just helping them in return. Okay. So always be really truthful with them and like help them to be guided on like, the do's, the don'ts, like what works. So I help them every day for the first week, and then I help them through all of their conversations until they sign their first 4 to 5 customers. So I tell them, I'm like, look, this is probably going to seem weird that I'm like literally telling you what to say, but there's a method to the madness. You don't know about the products. I know all about the products. You don't know about the pricing. I know all about this. And so, I have them get to a certain point and I'm like, okay, so when you get to this point, you're going to screenshot everything and I'm going to give you the replies for everything. I am literally walking them through their conversations until they have signed their first 4 to 5 customers. By doing this, they're going to get their customers faster. They're going to get that confidence, that excitement. They're going to get the $100 shopping spree faster, and they're going to get products in their hand. You're going to get your fast start bonus faster, and they're going to learn how to talk about products and how easy it is. And then they're going to talk about and see like kind of like the way of like, keeping control of the conversation and the way that I talk about like pricing. So it's kind of like just very hands-on learning. So that's what I do. I think sometimes I notice that people will sign a distributor and then they don't do anything with them. And it's like, you just sign this person to your team and they're trusting you and they're so excited and they think that you're going to teach them all these things. And it's like, you want to start pouring into them and you want to be there with them. You don't just want to sign them and be like, okay, well, we have trainings on these nights. We have all this available. You want to be like in their face, working with them, showing them, what's next, giving them goals. And so I think that's sometimes I notice people go wrong there because I'm like, okay, wait, are you working with her? Like, have you talked to her? They're like, no, I tagged her in the units and then I haven't like heard from her since, or like, we just haven't talked. And I'm just like, what? Have you not talked? What is your suggestion when they won't work with you? I used to get stuck on that. When people, I'd sign a distributor, they're stoked, they have all these goals, and then you sign up, you get them in the team page, you tag them in the video, and maybe they work for a second, or maybe they don't even get back to you after the video, and you're like, what the hell? Like, you just said you were so excited. You just wanted, you have all these goals. Like, what is this? Like, you see the vision for them, but they don't quite see it. And when people start ghosting me, like playing ball, think of it as like, you have added them to the team page, you've tagged them in the first training video, and you tell them to let you know when it's done. You've thrown the ball to them. The ball's in their court. If they're not throwing the ball back, or as like Katie likes to say, playing ball with you, we don't drag anyone, okay? There are so many millions of people in this world that you don't want to work with people who are energy drainers. You don't want to work with people who don't make work fun, and you're stressed and you're like, why aren't they doing this? They say they want this, but they're not consistent. And like, don't drag people, okay? And I know that in the beginning that's hard because you're like, well, I don't have very many people on my team, and every single one of these like really means something because I want to go somewhere. The right people will come. If they're working with me and they're not getting back to me, I don't sit there and drag them. I don't sit there and like keep messaging them every day like, hey, where you at? Hey, you know, I don't do that. I get my fast start bonus for them myself, and then I move on. And I'm like, there's always something. I always tell myself like, God has a better plan. There's always something like, you know, they weren't a part of the plan, they weren't a part of the picture, something better is coming. And when I stay in that mindset, I don't get like stressed about the no's or about the ghosts or about anything else, because I know that something better is coming. Do you still get them LCs to get your fast starts? Yes, never miss a fast start, okay? Think of it like this. If you're not getting that fast start, go throw away $100. Or if you got like signed a DT during the double fast start time, go throw away $200, because that's exactly what you're doing, okay? If they aren't working, I'm like, fast start, and I'm on to the next. So I'll move my customers there to get my fast start, because that's money for my daughters and I, you know? Let me... Fast starts so fast starts first to customers and 150 BV right in the first 30 days. Fast start is being commissions qualified, which is either running an 80 BV auto shipment or reaching 150 in PBV, personal bonus volume, and having at least 2 customers. Or, you know, if they don't have the auto ship on and you've signed 2 customers, but it's only like 60 volume because they were both 30, then until you reach that 150 PBV, you won't get the fast start. So they have to be commission qualified, either the 150 PBV or an auto ship set up, and at least 2 customers. Okay, so communication with them daily. If they're posting that they're doing, because everyone starts with a different market, everyone starts with a different amount of people and like kind of where they're at on their social media, and that's fine. So if their posting isn't working, then I have them make a list, a 30s list is what I call it. And I tell them, okay, hey, I want you to make a list of 30 people that you know that if you were selling dirt, they would buy it from you just because they love and support you. And then I have a message that I have them send out, and then that's how we get conversations flowing as well. So it's like, if, you know, there's not getting any bites and nobody's wanting to like buy off of the posting that we're doing daily, then my next thing is like, all right, we're going to go another way around this, and we're going to start talking to people in your list of 30, and we're going to reach out. And I do it that way. So things I make sure that they know in the first few days is I make sure that they know and that they have their daily checklist, because you don't want somebody that's just like, okay, what do I do? Like, I'm only posting, I'm not doing my lifestyle posting. I'm just like, you know, they need to know what to do, because it's kind of weird when you come into this, you're kind of just like, okay, what do I do? Like, how do I build a business other than like making a product post or a business post that you're giving me every single day? So it's very important that they know like what kind of activities they should be doing. And I kind of explain the checklist to them. I'm like, you know, there's a rhyme and a reason to everything. And I kind of explain like, you know, importance of interacting, why we add and follow people, why we post, why we do this and that, just so they understand like the rhyme and the reason to everything. I have them get logged into their eSuite and into their Connect. I screenshot and send what apps I use, and I explain like what these apps do, and I have them get their apps downloaded. I start going through their profile with them, and I have them do the social media academy, because if you've got someone who like really needs to clean up their profile, you want to be very truthful with them. You know, if you've got somebody who's constantly sharing a million posts and like memes and videos all day, you have to let them know that like, think of your social media as a storefront now, because this is a business now. Like, you know, you can still have fun on social media. I have fun all the time, but now I look at social media as making money. And so you just want to help them clean up their page, help them understand, you know, good profile, good bio, good, you know, profile picture, not sharing a million things, clean it up, things like that. And then I also introduce host to post to them, and I go through that with them. I tag them in Stacy's video, and then in the files, and then I have my own video that kind of talks about the way that I personally stay organized with host to post, and like on my Facebook, and like what I do with that. So I start them on that, but you want to make sure that they know their goals. Okay, you know, first goal, first 4 customers, $100 shopping spree. like that'll be their first goal. After they do that, I'm like, okay, now let's go to the 500 club. You know, it's the first thing that we celebrate. It's going to help you get like a good first commissions check. And everyone's different. You'll get somebody who will come in and they just start killing it and they're running and they're, you know, they're getting a lot of volume and just like, dang girl. And you get kind of people who just like aren't quite ready. But I like to, so like if somebody's really fast with things and they're getting their first 4 customers really fast, then I tag them in my Ruby video, like Ruby in 1 month video, so that they know like, okay, Ruby's next. If they're kind of slower, and I don't mean that in a bad way, it's just like they're kind of moving slower, then about halfway to the 500 club is when I'll tag them in the Ruby video so they know like what's to come and what's next, because you want them to know what's available to them. And like when I tag them in the video, I make sure that they get their Ruby chart printed, because that's like a visual roadmap. Like if you, even you yourself, like if you're sitting here and you're like, I want to go Ruby, I want to go Emerald, I want to go Diamond, but you don't have your charts, how do you know how to get there? How do you know how many distributors that you need? Like, so I am very big on having your charts in front of you and like knowing where you are going. So I have them get their Ruby chart, and then I like to do one-on-ones with my newbies. I do one-on-ones like kind of frequently in their first like week or 2, and then after that it's like kind of random depending on like, you know, if they're needing me or like what my distributor is needing. But for my newbies, I do more one-on-ones in the beginning of just like, okay, if you need me to like reiterate anything, let's go over it, or let's kind of like talk about strategy for going to Ruby. But once I have, you know, once they've got signing customers down and now we're starting to look at Ruby, then I start training with them on distributors. And I'm like, okay, we need 3 distributors. And I make sure they understand that 3 distributors equals $300 in their pocket before they even promote to Ruby. You know, you want them to know like they can make money and what's available to them, or else they just aren't going to know. And so then I start helping them edit their business posting or doing business posting. I tag them in the showing success to attract distributor posting. I send them some distributor videos. We start talking about things. I show them some examples from my own posting. And I start really just the same way that I did with understanding products. I start in product posting in the first week of posting. I start working on them with that in business posting. And then I also help them through their conversations more in the beginning for potential distributors, just as I would with potential customers, because the more that they're understanding that and getting that down and signing distributors and building their team, they're going to have confidence in themselves. They're moving faster, your team's moving faster, and everyone's just happy and going together. I'm very like, I know what to do and I'll figure it out and I'll do it. And it took me a while of like learning, like I have to reiterate that to people. So if you're someone who you're like, okay, I know what to do, I know how to make it happen, you have to learn to take what you're doing and get your team doing the same thing so that they're understanding as well. You cannot do everything on your own. And you need to start, like if you have a distributor on your team, even if it's just one and they're working, you're a leader, lead them, do power hours with them, work with them. With my new DTs, I'll do like a one-on-one work Zoom with them, you know, like pouring into them and not just sending them videos and not just having them get on somebody else's training weekly. I mean, like, those things are good as well, but you want to start learning to like pour into them, because the more that you're working with them and you guys have trust in each other, the faster that everything moves. And then when my new distributor is working towards Ruby and they sign distributors, I add those distributors because they're so new that I add their distributors. And not that I take over in any means, but I just kind of like, I'm like, hey girl, my name's Ashley. So-and-so told me about you. I heard that you just joined our team. Like, I'm so excited to have you. Just, you know, I'm in your upline along with so-and-so. So if you have any questions, like, I'm here, just so they know that I'm also here to like help them. But then I start helping my distributor that I signed, who signed them, to do exactly what I did with them. So I'm like, all right, girl, you need to tag her in the units. You need to help her with her posting for the next week. You need to be in contact with her every day. And I teach them to train their new distributors exactly how I trained them. And then, like, you know, getting them starting to think about Ruby too. I don't ever look at my chart and think, okay, you know, if I'm going Ruby, I've got these 3 DTs and I just need them to get 400 volume. Don't look at people like that. Look at people as like, they have goals. They have their own families to take care of. They have incomes that they want. And so even if on my chart, they're just, you know, I just need them to hit that 400 volume, I get them thinking about Ruby. I get people thinking about further than where I need them. If let's say I need somebody to be Ruby, I get them thinking about Emerald. I don't just stop them where I need them on my chart. I get them thinking about what's next all the time. It's always, okay, what's coming next? What's coming next? How are we going to move forward? So I I think that just comes with like, you kind of have to be like a selfless leader and just be caring in that sense of like, don't just be like, okay, I got my 3 people, they all need 400 volume, cool, I just promoted, but like, I'm not going to teach these people how to do exactly what I did, you know? Yeah, I feel like that's basically how I get my people going and how I get people to Ruby. Like, you know, it's on them. You can lead a horse through the water, but you can't make it drink. So if, you know, it's more fun and it works better when you are working with somebody who is excited and who is matching your effort and who's matching distributor for distributor and customer for customer with you. I'm always here to help anybody, but don't worry about the ones who fall off or the ones who don't get back to you, because you're just going to waste your time like sulking in the fact that you're like, why are they not working? They said they wanted this so bad. And so just, you know, keep moving on and keep doing you, and you're going to attract the right ones to your team. I always think like I am only one follow, one message, one friend request away from like a rock star on my team, my next diamond on my team, next triple on my team. So you just got to stay in that mindset that like something better is always coming. And I've never, like, I love my distributors on my team, so nobody take offense to this, but I always think like I haven't signed my best person yet. And that just leaves the door open for like so many possibilities and such like a big open mindset. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop this recording. If anyone has any questions, I know we went a bit over an hour. I'm so sorry.